Whoa there, partner, hold your horses. I bet you thought I had finally kicked my addiction to reading uncomfortable, cringy, weird text messages from the dating world. Well, do I have news for you, pal? I've only just begun on my bender here. Communication is a blessing, but today I almost feel like it's a curse. This is the worst flirting ever, I swear to God. What in the world? This is so bad. Were you naked? Oh my God, he's still in it. He's still in the zone. He's in the flow state. He's in the mainframe. Obsessing over her. It's scary. It's unhinged. Stop it. But his mind is set on one thing. Pork chops. He only has room in his noodle for one thought, and right now that thought is pork chops. He's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward, we're all Squidward. This whole relationship satire, it's all a joke, you're a joke, fuck you. I grew this dick for you, you ungrateful clod. That is one of the most powerful sentences I've ever had the pleasure of reading. Online dating's pretty tough. I remember when I was a single man using Tinder, my go-to line was, "Do you like Brendan Fraser movies?" It worked to tremendous success. It was like a real-life cheat code for getting laid. But I understand not everyone's gonna be as suave as I was. However, I'd argue nobody has less game than the guy I'm about to show you. This should lift your spirits. If you ever feel bad about yourself, like, damn, I suck at online dating, just know you'll never be as bad as this living, breathing organism I'm about to show you. For those that have been around the channel for a while, you'll know that I've always enjoyed reading horrible flirting as well as just really disastrous, like, romance attempts online. I used to have a whole series going through Facebook flirting, which is where I learned about, bitch lasagna, as well as also a line I still use today, "Put your ass in my asshole, baby." Things like that. I've always loved it. I don't really make content around it anymore, but today I had to come out of retirement. I had to dust off the old championship belt here for this one because I saw this on Reddit and I was smiling ear to ear. It is so bad. So this is where our journey begins. Now, again, this was posted to Reddit, so there's like a 90% chance it's fake. But god damn it, I'm gonna suspend disbelief and just enjoy the ride. Now, of course, I'm not an expert here. Rick wouldn't call me into the shop on Pawn Stars to check the authenticity of this piece, but there are countless of very real examples with pathetic dudes that go just like this. So there is a good chance it's real. So these two have been talking for a little while, and my man comes in with the clown shoes and asks, "Are you on birth control? I know it's a personal question, but kind of important to know." And then they say, "Okay, I'm canceling Wednesday." This could have gone better. This is suboptimal. This is a rough start right here. If it was a speed run, this would be a reset. This is about as bad as you could expect. He immediately ruined the date that they had planned by just immediately going full hog and just sending it. And from there was no recovering, and it gets real bad. He does not handle this super well. There was no grace or elegance. "Lol, I'm kidding, dude, relax." He's just, it's just stand-up comedy, honestly. He was practicing his material. Why are you overreacting? "I'm uncomfortable with these jokes." "Okay, sorry, I'll stop." "Okay." "No, I'm still canceling it." And now we get into his Joker arc. "Well, that's really your loss for being so uptight, but okay. I'll just go to work and make $900 in 12 hours. Really? You're overreacting. Seriously? And you wonder why you're single? Yawn. Still waiting for your reply, lol. I actually had you double booked with another girl, so I'm kinda happy you decided to be a psycho. You sure you want to cancel it?" This is a full roller coaster worth of emotion here. This man's hitting all 5 stages of denial within 6 text messages. This shit goes insano style quick. So let's break it down piece by piece. At first it's like, okay, you're missing out on a catch. I'm the perfect guy. I'm a real fucking man. Check my KD in Fortnite. I'm nuts. And you know what? Fuck you. I'm just gonna go make $900 in 12 hours at my job because I'm pulling fat racks. I've got stacks on stacks. Like, I'm kind of nutty. I'm one of the wealthiest men in the world, in fact. Then you can see panic start to set in when the money play didn't pan out. I'm guessing like 5 minutes had passed and he was already hyperventilating and breathing into a paper bag to calm himself down. So he tries to like put it on her like something's wrong with her. She's overreacting. Why are you just freaking out over nothing? It's like that scene in Airplane with that girl who's like afraid of flying. So they start like shaking her. "Hey, get a hold of yourself. Come on, get a hold of yourself. It was just a joke." So then he goes right into his bad boy mode. He puts on his sunglasses and trench coat and says, "You know what? Actually, this is good for me. I double booked you with another girl. So the fact that you're psycho is helpful for me because now I can just go to this other girl. In fact, I was just trying to have like 10 girls to have sex with on the same day, and you were just one of the many. So it's not that big of a deal. But are you sure you want to cancel? Like, I'm totally telling the truth, but are you like sure you want to cancel? I love that attempt. It's like, I'm so desirable, actually. In fact, I totally forgot I'd already had another girl that I was gonna fuck this day, so it's fine. And then has the audacity to call her a psycho. And I love the way that he says it. I double booked. This man has clearly never actually had a date in his life. It's like he's just penciling it in on a calendar as if it's like a part of his job. Now we make a transition into Act 3 here, into just full-blown neediness and scary obsession. Please call me, please, I'm at work, dude. Lol, I know, I'm just being incredibly annoying to show you how most guys act, so maybe you'll realize I'm not that bad. So I'll see you Wednesday? That doesn't even make sense, you were fine until that joke. This is a Hail Mary. This man hatched the ultimate plan. So after he realized that by begging to be called back, it was a bit much, a rare moment of self-reflection, he's like, okay, yeah, it's a bit weird. So then he's like, how do I get out of this now? I've got it. I was actually just pretending to be needy and obsessed. It was called acting. I was actually just doing this to show you what most other simpletons do, not a sophisticated, nice guy like me. So I'll see you Wednesday, right? Dude, I was kidding with you. It's a joke. You do know I'm a doctor, right? My brain thinks at a much higher level than yours or the average person. It wasn't even sexual. It was a joke. And I said if you don't like those type of jokes, I won't joke like that anymore. This should be the end of it. You should be like, okay, cool. And then if I do it again, then you get pissed. Yeah, he's a doctor. Dr. Love, baby. This guy's good. This is real smooth. I have to imagine he's not actually a doctor. I mean, maybe fucking Dr. Evil, I have no clue. But regardless, I love that he's like, I actually just have such a galaxy brain, I'm thinking on a totally different level than you and all of these other plebeians. I'm just too fucking smart. That's my curse. That's the burden I bear. I'm too intelligent, which is why I made this joke. And the joke is a thinking man's joke. It's actually an anti-joke, in fact. You know how there's like matter and antimatter? This is an anti-joke, and now I'm explaining it to you so you don't have the right to get mad about it. You see, you're just wrong for getting upset about it, and it's because I'm so much smarter than you. And I understand that it's not your fault for being fucking stupid, but just know that since I'm a doctor, I know what's right and what's wrong when it comes to joking. You off just get pissed right off the bat and be all rude to someone. That's a major turnoff, and just know. Yeah, she was the one being rude. She was nice enough to give you like a warning that she's canceling. She's like, hey, you're a fucking weirdo and I'm canceling. She could have just said nothing and not showed up on Wednesday, wasting your time by going there. And you just sit there all fucking soft cock in hand waiting and just not even getting a response. But she was nice enough to like cancel to your face. Like, that's far more than you deserved. Okay, so rant over. Are we cool now? Yeah, I think things are good now. I'm reading the room and it looks like he may have solved this problem here and fixed everything. You just talk shit to me. All I said was I'm canceling it. I didn't do what did talk shit to someone. What? Those are not coherent sentences. Of course I'm talking shit to you. You just flaked after I asked for that night off. Do you know how hard it is for me to get a night off work? Continuing further, let's just stop this childish nonsense. I'll see you Wednesday, right? This is that shit, don't take no for an answer, which I think is honestly the worst advice you can ever give someone. No is like the most important answer you should accept. By not accepting no's, you're just gonna go to jail at some point. Like, you're just asking for some kind of awful thing to happen to you. Like, no is an important thing to recognize and respect. And then they respond, you do not need to criticize my sentences. Change of mind and telling you about it doesn't really make it flaking. I was upfront. You said you already booked another date with someone else. Go enjoy it. I don't know why you're trying to with me, especially since you think so little of me already. Man's going full-blown car salesman. Just meet me Wednesday. I'm sorry, okay? Just will not drop it. There is no chance she shows up on Wednesday. This is coming across like an actual serial killer now who's just scratching at his neck for his next victim. Like, he just cannot help but just keep saying, you're coming Wednesday. I know you are. You're gonna meet me here Wednesday. Call me immediately. I'm at work. I'm not going to take the call. Okay, then we are meeting Wednesday, right? Are we cool? I feel like she might be talking to King Ghidorah here, just three separate heads all talking at once and all having different thoughts. One of them is just a fucking android that can only say Wednesday. One of them is just like a spiteful lunatic who thinks that there's some galaxy brain intellect that can't help but shit on her. And then one of them's just like a lobotomized zombie who just constantly just keeps asking, are we cool? Are we good now? It's wild, like the swings this guy goes through on these text messages here. Then he goes all in saying, look, my mom recently died, okay? So I'm kinda not really in the best place to be messed with. So if you could understand that, would be great. Please, dude, please answer me. Can you please stop being immature and call me? Now, admittedly, she was being very immature about this whole situation by not understanding such level-headed remarks from a gentleman like this. It really was her being immature, clearly. And I also can't help but respect the actual Xbox Live tactic of saying his mom died. That is unironically 2005 Xbox Live shit right there. Like, your mom's a whore, mom's dead, and it's supposed to be like the checkmate. He actually tried it. It's like, oh, mom's dead, so now you have to excuse everything I've said, and you have to go on this date with me. I'll see you Wednesday, right? Come on, stop being immature. So yeah, anyway, that's where this story wraps up. Hopefully, if some of you are shitty at online dating, this will help you feel a little bit better and maybe help you improve in that respect in some way. Hopefully, none of you are as bad as this guy or anywhere close, but if you're just kind of, awkward and uncomfortable when it comes to conversations via text, maybe this will lift your spirits up a little bit, because you're probably not as bad as this guy. Anyway, last night I had a little trouble falling asleep. I think what I needed was a good bedtime story. So I turned to Reddit, just cruising around, perusing, see if I could find anything that'd give me the yawns and help me go night-night. But I found something extraordinary. Something so stimulating, I stopped any attempt at going to sleep, and I just sat there bewildered by what I had just read. For at least 40 minutes, I just sat in silence, truly stunned, like a child who had just watched his first episode of Chris Angel's Mind Freak. My brain was blown out my ass. I couldn't imagine a world where this was real, but all of the evidence pointed to it being a genuinely true story. I did eventually hit the hay, and now, a full 9 hours later, I'm still thinking about this, so I figured, why not share it with all of you? Perhaps this will have a profound effect on your life, or maybe it'll do something to help motivate you to not be like the guy in this story. It's a series of text messages between a man and a woman. And that's all I'll tell you for now. I don't want to get in any spoilers. I want you to come into this as unsuspecting as possible. Let's dive in. Previously on Dragon Ball Z, the two people in this text conversation were close friends for about 9 years. The Reddit poster is the woman in this story, and her male friend here had recently professed his love for her in a pretty creepy way. The feeling wasn't mutual, so it led to a bit of a disconnect between the two of them, and in an act of desperation, the male friend calls in the cringe artillery and starts bombarding her with memes, to which she finally responds, "Hey, I appreciate the memes." Real quick, I'd like to come in here with a PSA. I recognize that in the current climate of things, there's a lot of people that have lived their entire lives online without any actual social interaction, so I want this to be a teachable moment. Don't send memes as some kind of last-ditch Hail Mary. Like, if you let something rip and it's not reciprocated, spamming memes isn't going to salvage the situation, it's only going to make it worse and even weirder. Her saying, "I appreciate the memes," is just a lie. No one's ever going to say that. Those words have probably not left a human being's mouth ever. "Ah, good morrow, sailor. I really appreciate the exquisite memes you've shared with me today. I was a little perturbed with our last conversation, but now that you've sent 1,000 memes, I see you've got a good heart. Thank you for this." And I'm speaking from experience here. I'm very knowledgeable in this field. I'm the authority on this matter. I've told this story before, but I'll just briefly repeat it. The very first girl I was ever flirting with and exchanging text messages with was back in high school, and she did not feel the same way about me as I did her. And in my weakest moments, I turned to the dark side and consulted the Sith Lords, and was advised to try and maybe send goofy memes and ASCII art, because that was big back in the day. So I did. And guess what? It didn't fucking solve anything. It just made it even worse. I know how uncomfortable that must have been for her. So yeah, that is not the right play to just start spamming memes and shit. But anyway, she continues the message by saying that she's only ever thought of him as a close friend and never really viewed him in a romantic way. So when he professed her love, it made things a little weird. They grew distant, they grew a bit hostile, but she thinks they can be friends again just as long as it's very clear that there is no romantic feelings in this relationship. She's just laying down the brass tacks and making things very clear, to which he responds, I certainly had my head on backwards, but as my friend, I really think you're fucking adorable, and every trip I've ever taken with you is so fucking precious. I've heard of a Japanese word called shibumi, and it's basically authority without dominance. Call me a simp, but I really think you have that. Code red, he's not taking no for an answer. Jinkies, we're going too deep. He just busted out shibumi. Jesus Christ, we're in the in-game now. Lord help us. He continues to spaghetti dump here for the novel that he's writing her. There's steam coming off of the touchscreen pad as he's writing. The most important takeaway here is a very specific line, a buzzword that gets dropped that I think is very important that we highlight. He says, sometimes it feels like my chivalrous interest with you is underappreciated or just unappreciated sometimes. The reason I point that out is because I'm pretty confident that the word chivalry is used exclusively by creeps. I don't think there's been a documented case of a normal person saying chivalry, especially not in this context. It's just like an immediate red flag word to drop, especially when saying that my chivalrous interest is underappreciated, it's not valued enough. It's just some certified weirdo Redditor energy, like tip in the hat, m'lady. It's no problem, you're welcome for holding the door open for you. Chivalry isn't dead, am I right? I'm the perfect example. No, of course, I'm just kidding. I jest. Chivalry can't die, because to die, it would imply that it was ever alive in the first place. Only a living thing can experience death, and chivalry is not a living thing. It's an idea, more of a social code, per se. He continues on, and then eventually tells her that she should like one of them so he doesn't feel crazy, to which she says, you're not crazy, I just need some time to think. Which I think is a perfectly reasonable response to all of this, but he gives her no time to think and immediately just comes back to, please, let me find favor in your eyes. I'm assuming he heard that in some kind of like indie song at some point, so he tried to throw that in here to see if it'd work. So he's going full-blown Robert Frost now, even then drops a picture saying, daydream with me, and it's like the sun rising. So it's getting very emotional in here. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because it's him once again just begging for any kind of reciprocation, to which she just keeps saying she just needs some time to process all of this. But he's extremely impatient. His foot is fully on the gas and there's no turning back now. He is full throttle invested in all of this. He's using every possible cliche line imaginable, but he's not finding any favor in her eyes. It just keeps going. You're valid. Never really heard the extent of why I'm your friend, so now he's like interrogating her. Why am I your buddy? Why am I your pal, huh? Tell me. I could tell you all day why you're my friend. Your voice is fucking music. I think you're brilliant. Just a brilliant person to be around. Really wish I could hug you. Fuck. This hurts. And again, she reiterates, I need time to think. I will reach out when I'm ready. And now we've finally gotten past the introduction here and we're entering the climax. Welcome to the wacky zone. He once again gives her no time to reach out or process any of this. He reaches out pretty soon after everything, only a couple of days, and says, so is there any chance as your friend I could send you something explicit? She says, what do you mean? And then he goes, NSFW, which I'm sure all of you know what that means, but I'll break it down anyway. Not safe for work. Of course, she wasn't expecting this curveball, so she says, are you trying to make a joke right now? And then he goes, no, kind of a gamble. I will say this is a historic moment. You are witnessing the worst gamble in history. Congratulations, we all got to be a part of this. This is, by far, the absolute worst possible fucking gamble you could ever make. This is like betting 100% of your life savings on me getting taller. What the fuck are you, I don't understand how you think an out-of-nowhere nudie is going to somehow win her over and, somehow solve all of these problems. I just can't even understand that mindset, really. It just doesn't compute. Okay, I tried all the lovey-dovey, really mushy-gushy stuff with the favor in your eyes, your voice is like magic or music. It didn't work. So let's try something a little more primal. Wiener. What about penis? Eureka! This might be the answer. Let's try it. She's once again just trying to make sure she fully understands the lunacy going on here, so she says, "Are you asking me if you can send me something sexually explicit? Respectfully." What a gentleman. A fedora tip to you, my gentle sir. That is sophisticated. Very respectful. Milady, doth thou wish to gaze upon my meat? And then he sends her a dick pic with his pinky out while holding it. An incredibly interesting play here, as if somehow his cock was going to hypnotize her and make her fall in love with him. So she eventually responds by pointing out how weird this whole interaction has become. She still only ever viewed them as friends and will only ever view him as a friend, and that she's very disappointed that he can't even respect that she wants some time to herself to process this entire weird interaction. She also drops a bombshell at the end by mentioning that she's currently in a relationship, so that was a big plot twist. This goober is doing all of this to a girl who is not interested and also in a relationship. The odds couldn't be more against him. Now, she used a word at the end that's about to change the entire course of this interaction. She said, "It sucked when you went all incel on me towards the end." That word, I had a big voice crack there, that's how powerful that word is. That one word ruffled this guy's feathers so much. You're about to see a full-blown ballistic breakdown from it. I respect that. Also, if I'm an incel, you're toxic, so let's not name call. She's toxic because she doesn't want to fuck him. Why is that even in your argument, that I can't get someone? I can. You choose not to. That's fair, but you didn't get to call me an incel because you decline. You go out of your way to say it. Why is that? Label me as anything else, like, for real. It's foolish for you to argue something like that. She gets taken off guard here, saying like, "Hey, whoa, pump the brakes, Buster. I didn't mean to offend you." She says, "I never said you couldn't get someone. What do you mean?" She never said that. Like, he is now just projecting some insecurities and reading between the lines on shit that doesn't exist. She just said his behavior was that of like an incel or something. And he keeps going. "You should know I'm anything but a little dick incel, so out of here with that shit." Again, she never even pointed out your penis or anything. She didn't call it small. Like, where is this coming from? He's fighting ghosts. I'm not even gonna pretend that's valid. You're with a fucking beta cuck to begin with. Maybe that's your type, and maybe that's why we aren't together. Have fun with that. The mask has come off. He is unchained, unhinged, and unhappy. Your boyfriend's a beta cuck loser. That's the only reason you and I aren't together, because that's what you're into, beta cucks. You couldn't handle an alpha male testosterone titan like me, a real man who cries while he texts. She then goes on to say, like, look, if you find me to be toxic and all of this awful stuff, like, okay, then, you shouldn't be upset that we're not close anymore. And to this big message, he just responds by saying, "I'll see you in hell." And then she says r/nice guys, which this very much is an r/nice guys moment. Keep in mind, this is still, only a couple days after the whole poetic, "Allow me to find favor in your eyes, miss. Your voice is music, sweet music." And now it's, "What an excellent take on a 7-year waste of my fucking time." To which she responds, "So you're just waiting around until I'd eventually date you? That's on you, man." She's absolutely right. That is entirely on you. This dude played the long game, almost an entire decade of pretending to be her friend in the hopes that eventually you'll get to fuck her, I guess was the plan. That is a long commitment to a deep cover operation to stay in disguise, faking friendship, hoping that eventually you'll be able to have sex with her. And then he says, "How was I supposed to know you're only interested in half men?" I've never even seen that term used before. This guy's pulling all kinds of Insano-style phrases out of his ass now. "I spent 7 years just waiting for you to notice the difference, but I guess I bet on the wrong fucking horse." This goober spent 7 years pretending to be her friend, hoping that somehow she'd fall in love with him? This is craziness. This is a longer time spent undercover than Rob Lucci and the gang during the Water 7 arc of One Piece. Like, this is outrageous how long he committed to this ridiculous, diabolical plan. And now he's just full anime villain mode. "I'm over you. That's why I asked if you needed a visual definition of the word endowed, because I bet you're never going to get that with the life you choose to live without me. Motherfucker, I grew this dick for you, you ungrateful clod. We have to pause here for a moment. Wow. I grew this dick for you, you ungrateful clod. That is one of the most powerful sentences I've ever had the pleasure of reading. What does that even mean? That's not even possible. How could you have grown your penis for her? Was there no dick there to begin with, and then you just started, like planting the seeds and then taking care of it like summertime gardening? Like, what does that mean, you grew it for her? Is it a laboratory experiment like the Cybermen? Like, I don't understand. It's just such a bafflingly amazing sentence. She's also stunned, saying, I refuse to believe that these messages aren't satire. And then that sets him off even further. This entire relationship is satire. A joke. Your interest in men is a joke. The wambulance is coming in hot. He's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward, we're all Squidward. This whole relationship satire, it's all a joke, you're a joke. Fuck you. My interest in you is a joke. This is the first time I wanted to show someone my dick because I hate them. Fucking brilliant. r/nice guys, these nuts. She waits a while and then says, I think enough time has passed and I just genuinely want to know if you've had any remorse for the shit you said to me or if you truly believe it was all valid. And then he responds 7 hours later saying, let's find out if you're still seeing the Hat Man first. I don't know what that means, but then he comes back 2 hours later and said, I'm over you. You're wasting your time. So he's trying to flip this around on her like, you missed your opportunity with the golden goose. You missed your opportunity with the alpha. I've moved on, you harpy. I don't need you anymore, harlot. Listen, I've matured a lot. You clearly haven't. So you're wasting your time trying to talk to me now. You had your chance, you blew it. I'm sure you're kicking yourself now for this, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. But then just to finish it off with the cherry on top, he quotes from before where he was offering to show her his wiener and says, I still mean this if you need clarification. And then comes back and says, except don't even bother asking for nudes. I have a girlfriend. Okay. I mean, this is quite the ride. What an adventure. She eventually just says, you know, what's wrong with you? We were friends for almost a decade. And then you go into this shit. Which is a reasonable response. Like, how did this happen? We have been friends for like 10 years. We've known each other for so long. Where did this come from? It is crazy. This whole situation was wild. And also, I'm calling fiddlesticks on that last statement from him. I don't believe he has a girlfriend. If we go back to like chapter 7 of this meltdown, he said that she was the first girl he wanted to show his penis to. So, I'm under the impression he's a virgin. And I don't think enough time has passed between those messages and these that he would not only lose his virginity, but then also have a girlfriend, especially given all of the behavior we're seeing exhibited here. So, I think he lied about that. That was probably just once again some kind of Hail Mary to make her jealous. Like, hey, listen, Toots. Got a girlfriend. Stay off of me. Can't send you nudes anymore. You blew it. Nope, can't do it. Sorry. That's on you. Yeah, you'll regret this for the rest of your life, clearly. Sorry. Have a girlfriend. Even though it's most likely a lie. But yeah, that's all there is to the story here. Overall, I think we can all agree that nice guys really do finish last. It is insulting that these two didn't end up getting married. This guy is a real catch, and it's just a shame to see that it didn't pan out. But yeah, overall, dropping the sarcasm, I actually feel really bad for the woman in this situation here. This is someone who was a close friend to her for a fucking decade, only to then find out that that close friend was actually just a complete piece of shit, loser, degenerate, who was only being her friend, trying to have sex with her down the line. I can't even imagine that kind of betrayal. That must have been fucking awful. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share this because I've been thinking about it like all day, so yeah. I've never had a threesome, and I've never had an experience where I read something so cringe that it made my tummy upset. One of these two things is about to change today, and I don't think it's the threesome. I just read something from, yet again, my deep diving onto the horrors of modern dating with absolute deranged weirdos. And the whole interaction was so mind-bogglingly peculiar that my body couldn't help but suffer from a physical reaction after finishing this adventure here. I don't know where these men are coming from. These dudes are just being printed in the cringe factory and being thrown into the dating world as like the worst NPC encounters you could ever have. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. But before doing that, just a quick heads up. The Moist Global Retro Basketball line is still available right now. This is the best assortment of merch the internet's ever seen, so you can go to moistglobal.com right now and pick something up. Links in the description. I just read some of the backstory she was posting about this situation in the comments, and it's actually pretty sad. Apparently these two had been dating for about 3 years. It was a horrible situation all around, and a couple months ago she left and took the kids. But this is the most recent interaction between the two of them. She 100% made the right move in leaving. This guy seems like a fucking menace. But anyway, it begins innocently enough. That's good, just working away with 3 exclamation points, so he's having a jolly old day at work. Did you get to the doctors yet? She says, yeah, I have COVID. What did he say it give you? What? What did the doctor say or give you to feel better? Take Advil, Tylenol, sleep as much as you can, and quarantine. This is so timely because I myself just finished going through COVID over the last 11 or so days. And this is the 3rd time it's fisted me. It has gone elbow deep in my ass 3 times, and all 3 times that is the exact same advice I was given by doctors. Now, of course, you can still ask for like a Paxlovid prescription if you want. It should help with like symptoms, but it's not usually the first thing they give you unless you're someone who is at risk for like complications, I think. It is an option, but typically they'll just tell you that, you know, take Tylenol, sleep it off, rest, fluids, simple stuff like that. So it seems innocent enough here, and the guy she's communicating with almost seems jovial. You know, like when he says, just working away, I can already see him typing that and going, just working away. You know, one of these with a big old smile on his face, ear to ear. He seems like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. And then it all falls apart. This feels like a real Jekyll and Hyde situation. He immediately just doubts her, doesn't trust her, accuses her of lying. Lol, so you didn't go to the doctors. Before this turns into a fight, just tell the fucking truth, lol. She says, I did. There's no meds for this. Yes, there is. Go to the doctors, lol. I need the address and the name of the clinic that told you there's no medicine. Also, the name do the doctors. They will be losing their license. So he's fucking spiraling immediately here. And I feel like this isn't exclusive to just him. I feel like a lot of men these days assume that every girl they interact with, even their significant other they've been with for 3 goddamn years, is some kind of lying, cheating harpy or something. So they're constantly interrogating because they don't believe anything they say. I feel like there's just so many dudes out there with this, like, insecurity within them where they doubt everything their partner says, believing that they're cheating in some way. And they're lying about something, hiding something. And it's fucking awful. So this guy's trying to checkmate her here with the scholar's mate. Like, okay, then give me the name and the address, because I'm going to call them to double check, because I don't believe you, madame. She then says, stop being so fucking melodramatic. I seriously don't need this shit right now. There isn't anything they can give me. I'll be fine once it works its way through my system. He just continues to press, please, name of the doctors, location you want to, please. I know you sick. That's why I'm jandling this for you, and just need to know which doctor you went to. I can handle this properly. This guy has so much steam coming out of his ears, it's clouding his eyes. He can't even fucking type properly. He's typing like a caveman. He's going full Neanderthal mode here. Like, what in the world is happening in his noodle? He's gonna start jandling this? That reminds me of jelking. Like, that was an old thing on the internet where you're supposed to, like, masturbate in a certain way to elongate your wiener. Jandling feels like it's some kind of, like, sub-discipline of jelking. But anyway, she says, I don't need you to scream at the receptionist for no reason at all. Stop being ridiculous. I won't scream at anyone, just tell me the information. Skit K can handle this, please. If you don't provide it to me, it's because you're lying and didn't go to the doctors. There's nothing to handle. So just tell me the name of the doctor you saw. This douchebag is making so many typos, it looks like he's trying to transcribe the Scatman. I can jandle. It's like ridiculous how crazy he's going because he's so angry. I don't know why he'd even think she's lying about this. He admits that he knows she is sick. So why would she lie about going to the doctor? Well, what the fuck thought process is that? I know my girlfriend is sick. but it's probably dick sickness. She's probably hungry for cock and it's causing her physical pain. That's probably what it is. She didn't go to the doctor. She went to a penis appointment. That's what it is, and she's lying to me about it. I knew it! It continues to just get out of control. She says, lol, I shouldn't have to prove to you anything. I'm sick, I have COVID. She's absolutely right. She doesn't have to prove anything here. She doesn't need to try and, like, defeat his delusions. That's not her responsibility here. She's done nothing wrong. And he just continues, you're not proving anything to me, lol. There is medication for this. I know for a fact, as I know someone else who had COVID last week. There isn't, unless you're old as fuck or have an autoimmune disease or your lungs are shit. Otherwise, you just carry through like normal fucking virus. Yes, there is. Let me call the do it. And I will get you proof. Where did you go, baby? That comes out of nowhere. After all of this, he hits her with a where did you go, baby? I can already just tell from reading this shit, this guy is extraordinarily manipulative and a completely insufferable person to be around. But anyway, she goes, I went to a walk-in, and frankly, I'm not going to allow you to cause a muck over nothing. I'm going back to bed. What walk-in clinic? If you don't tell me, I'm don't with you. Because I'm not a ducking idiot, and I know you're lying, haha. You have 3 minutes to get me the address of the walk-in clinic or else. So now man's out here setting a time limit. He's dropping the ultimatum. You give me the name, and I will hunt them down. Out here like Liam Neeson, about to track them down with his particular set of cringe skills. I guess his thought process was he just wants to confirm that she actually went to the doctor, because for some reason he doesn't trust her even slightly, even though they've been together for 3 years. I also imagine if he did call them, he'd start yelling and screaming and causing a big hoopla, because he seems like that kind of unhinged, deranged lunatic that would do shit like that. But anyway, the 3 minutes to get me the address of the walk-in clinic or else, that's it. Buy more chances for you. She says, fine, be done with me because I don't want you yelling at someone for no fucking reason. He says, no one's going to get yelled at. You're just nothing but a liar and KM Jot a fucking idiot. I wouldn't have even called them, but everything you say is a lie, and you think I'm an idiot, and you can fool me. Anyway, joke's on you. Enjoy. Hope it was worth it, kid. His use of exclamation points and emojis is absolutely infuriating, but even more so than that, the cherry on top of the shit cake is him saying, hope it was worth it, kid. He's speaking like he's back on Xbox Live in a Call of Duty lobby. What? Hope it was worth it, kid? Oh, God, sickening. But clearly the reason he's using the emojis and the exclamation points is he's trying to put on this strong, masculine front that none of this bothers him. This is the biggest mistake of your life. You're going to regret this. But me, I'm laughing. I'm having fun with this. This means nothing to me. So much so that I'll drop a laughing, crying emoji and 5 exclamation points. Haha, not hurting me. She then says, lol, joke's on me because I'm sick. Great joke. Love that for myself. Love that I feel like I'm being dragged through the mud, fire, literally feel the worst ever. Great support, thanks. Joke's on you because you lost the best man of your life because you'd rather lie than tell the truth. Leave me alone. What the fuck? Oh my God. It's just so painful reading this. It's so fucking sad reading this, knowing that not only have they been together for 3 years, but I guess also have kids. Like, and speaking of the kids, his final message to her is this. You got it, Buster. Have fun being a homeless narcissist liar that no one loves, not even their children. He just dropped a cold Buster here at the end, and then told her that she is a homeless narcissist that not even her children love. What kind of delusional, evil shit is this? He's calling someone a narcissist. That's unbelievable. And then to say that not even their children love her? What? I don't know how you go from like, oh, where'd you go, baby? You know, like, obviously, like, in love kind of thing, to immediately, like, no one loves you, everyone hates you, I'm the best man that has ever existed in this entire fucking history of our species, and you just blew it with me. This is your fault. You're unlovable. You're a liar. Your children don't love you. You're a narcissist. Like, it's just crazy how quickly someone can become this. It's so fucking sad. She definitely made the right call leaving this guy. I'm, of course, no, relationship counselor or guru or anything, but very clearly, this is an unhealthy person to be around. This guy super sucks. This guy is a turbo fucking loser. And according to her comments, this was only like the tip of the iceberg. She actually called this interaction mild. So I can only imagine how awful of a person this piece of shit is. She definitely made the right call. And to think all of this happened because she got COVID and went to the doctor, and that was enough to set this guy off. That's terrible. That's horrible. But yeah, like I said, I have been deep on like the modern dating scene, you know, travesty, seeing like what all's been going on and being posted by people online. I just find it all so interesting. So I can't help but talk about some of these that really get crazy. So, good morning, and welcome back to Wacky Weirdo Hour. Boy howdy, do we have an action-packed lineup for you today. Get out your cup of coffee, enjoy your cereal. It's about to be a bit of a ride. Sometimes I'm asked, why do I do this to myself? Why do I dabble in the swamp of cringe? What's the purpose? What's there to gain from staring into the abyss and letting the abyss stare back into you? And the thing is, I unironically feel there's real value here in some lessons to be learned from the lunacy. Let's say there's people out there that haven't really experienced a lot socially in life, suckling mother's bosom, and has never really branched out from the nest to get their own wings and become the social butterfly that they are destined to be. Sometimes people might not recognize that the behavior they're exhibiting is not good and is bad, not productive, is not going to lead anywhere. So by going over some of these absolutely atrocious, downright painful exchanges in the dating scene or like romantic interest, I feel like it can serve as a scared straight kind of moment, like, behold, don't be this guy. And you're like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. What the fuck? He sucks. Okay. All right. I get it now. I know what not to do. Or maybe I'm just reading way too deep into all this. I'm not a fucking hero. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just a guy here laughing at some goofy situations. Anyway, the story for today is one I got tagged in a lot last night when I was at a Lightning game. So I actually watched it unfold in real time and had a sneaking suspicion that by morning this would no longer exist. The poster would probably remove it because things went out of control. That shit went cattywampus. And I was right. The posts were deleted, but I saved them. I made sure to. I said, dag nabbit, you're not keeping this from me. You think you can hide cringe, brush it under the rug, and I won't find it? Nope, I'm lifting that rug up with a big old smile on my face. I'll say, thank you so much for this, yum yum yum, scrumptious. So I got the Library of Alexandria of Cringe, and let's just go ahead and explore. I had to censor so many handles that were tagged in this initial tweet here. It was like a fucking CIA document with all the redactions. But anyway, I've got it in working order. I don't want anyone harassed here, including the original poster or anything, obviously, but I do want to go over this. So they made a call-out post out of nowhere. I don't want to be too rude, but I genuinely can't understand how this goofball, and then he tags the guy, got a beautiful girl like, and then he tags the girl. He says the dorkiest shit, yet has a massive following. I just can't wrap my head around how any girl would go for that. I really commend his efforts not to be rude. I think he did a great job of tiptoeing around it and being polite while also getting to the point. Extraordinary manners, clearly. Excuse me, everybody, not to be rude, but fuck this guy. He's got a girl and I don't, and he's a dork and I'm a Chad. What's going on here, guys? What an injustice. He's not ugly, but Sabrina is objectively hot, where he's average at best. He spends all his time on Twitter, unlike someone who has a full-time job and a ton of money he could use to provide for a stunning woman like herself. Nah, screw not trying to be rude. He's a loser, to be honest. Oh, he was doing such a good job of not being rude too, and then the wheels just fall off. It goes tits up. He really goes off the rails. I like how he's like analyzing this now as if he's a researcher studying the phenomenon. He's average at best, but Sabrina is on like a totally different plane. Like this something's not adding up here. There's something foul afoot. And then he had the gall to criticize that guy for being on Twitter all the time. Meanwhile, Goober is on Twitter all the time making whiny posts like this, just having a temper tantrum, tears in the eyes, shaking his fist. Why is she not with me? I want her. He doesn't deserve it. I deserve it. And then here comes the stone cold stunner right on his soul. So the girl that he was talking about and loosely tagging in his tantrum catches wind of it and drops the DMs that he continues to send her. She goes, I know your ass ain't tweeting this like you ain't been in my DMs constantly begging me for a chance like a desperate loser and refusing to take no for an answer like a disgusting creep. And here's the receipts, Twitter. Thank you for the receipts. God bless. I'll speak on behalf of all of Twitter when I say it's much appreciated. So it begins with, would you ever want to meet up someday? I'd love to see a movie or take you to dinner. Whatever you'd like. To which she responds, I'm flattered, but for one I have a boyfriend and I don't think you even live near me. Oh, I like to travel, so it's not a problem, lol. And you're not married, right? There shouldn't be anything wrong with hanging out. No, but I don't feel like your intentions are platonic, so... She was right. She really sniffed that one out pretty quickly. You don't need to be, part of the Scooby-Doo mystery gang in order to crack this code here. She immediately deduced that this wasn't necessarily a friendship offer. This was him shooting his shot. But I love how he just immediately goes like, well, you're not married, so I mean, like... what's the harm? I don't see a ring on your finger. And he continues, No, I'm absolutely being platonic. My intention is just that I want a chance to prove that maybe I could a candidate as well. Like maybe you'd have more fun with me. Just to weigh your options, About to have me talking like a Sims character with that kind of cringe. Like, what do you mean? Weigh her options. Brother, you came out of nowhere in Twitter DMs. Why the fuck would she want to weigh options with you? Like, she's already in a relationship which she makes clear off rip and you still keep pressing. But you know what? Let's go even deeper here. We'll get into real fanfic levels of garbage and delusion. Let's assume she's in an open relationship and would actually, want other options, I suppose, in a partner. It's not gonna be you through Twitter DMs. That's just dangerous. No one's going to take you up on shit like this, especially not when you're coming out fucking guns blazing, fucking firing from the hip out of nowhere. And there's no possibility of that anyway in reality, because she actually shuts that down directly too. No, you're not, because you're still pushing something further, even after knowing that I'm in a committed relationship with Blake, so there's no options. Learn how to take no for an answer. A lesson he absolutely refuses to learn. So he continues. I'm just confident in my abilities as a partner on all levels. I'm certain I can give you everything you desire, and perhaps better than he can. I apologize for persisting. You're just breathtaking, and I want you. I'm willing to fight for you at this point. To which she responds, there's no fighting for me, you don't know me, and you couldn't give me anything that her current partner doesn't. She lays into him. She lays down the brass tacks here. And basically he says, that's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them, because he refuses to accept anything she is saying and only continues to exist in this dimension in his brain that is disconnected from the reality here. But I will say, he has piqued my curiosity. I have to know what abilities he's so confident in here. Like, balloon animals? Like, he learned a magic trick from Chris Angel? Like, what abilities are we talking about? Because it's certainly not... like romantic abilities whatsoever. He's fucking cold calling like a telemarketer here through Twitter DMs. So he responds again saying, I had to give my 100%. If we're being truthful here, I don't think he deserves you. I see what he tweets and he's dorky as hell. You're hot and one of the kindest people I've ever seen on this app. What do you mean? Like, so I'm guessing he just like stalks her feed or something. He's like, he's making up this fantasy in his head where it's like, this is an angel and I should be with her, clearly. This guy's too dorky, too much of a dweeb, doesn't deserve that. It's so creepy. I have a good job and I'd be willing to let you crash with me at my place for as long as you'd want if you'd be willing to give me a chance someday. That's so generous. I mean, wow. He'd be willing to let her crash at his place? Wow. And they say chivalry is dead, huh? I don't even know why he's making that offer. I don't think that's something anyone would want to do. I don't know why he's making it sound like he'd be willing to make a sacrifice by letting her live with him when he's fucking obsessed with her. It's oh my god, it's so fucking weird. I'd take care of you, but you everything you want? Oh, buy you everything you want and give you anything you'd need. I haven't found any ladies in my area that share my same interests or honestly that are as beautiful as you are. I guess you just brought out my competitive side, lol. You absolute weenie. It's not a competition. And if dating was a competition, you're gonna stay losing with an attitude like this. I don't know why he's treating it like a game of Counter-Strike where if he just plays it properly, he'll go ahead and squeak out the W. She's already in a relationship. No matter what you do here through fucking Twitter DMs, it's not going to change that, and she's not going to want to go with you. No matter how much you lecture her about why her current partner doesn't deserve her, which is an outrageously weird thing to do. You don't even know them to begin with. You are just someone that is stalking their fucking Twitter feeds, I guess. Like, this whole thing is super creepy, and he just doesn't see it. So she posts these DMs, and obviously a lot of people started dunking on him for it. And instead of trying to learn from it and understand why this isn't a good thing, he takes it as another opportunity to proclaim his love for this stranger. He says, "You have to be lying. Why is everyone acting like I'm crazy? Sabrina is drop dead, sexy. Block A or Blake, whatever the fuck, is not. He's painfully average and mediocre at best. As I said before, he ain't ugly, but compared to her, he might as well be. Sabrina's figure is what I'd call perfection. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm trying to make a simple point. Her hair is majestic, her face is gorgeous, and her body is literally to die for. Not to mention she's strong and takes what she wants. I admire that. And she doesn't want you, so admire that, and come to terms with it. She will never want you. No matter how many times you make Twitter posts about her, obsessing over her. It's scary. It's unhinged. Stop it. Like, I don't know how else to, like, put it in plain terms. But even with people putting it in the plainest terms for someone to understand, he still just thinks that, like, his intellect is above everyone else's and no one's understanding his point. So after all of this kind of blows up, he then starts sending her more DMs about it. He comes back around into the DMs saying he didn't mean to put her on the spot, to which she responds, "You did. Now Twitter sees the creep that you are." And he says, "I don't think of myself as a creep. I'm just being honest and straightforward." And she says, "No, you're a loser and a creep who doesn't understand the word no." She's right. It's very blunt, but it is correct. The way he is behaving here is not taking no for an answer and being very creepy. Again, they don't even know each other. And he has become this obsessive over this whole situation. Like, even so much as saying, like, he doesn't deserve you, it's me, this and that. And he doesn't recognize why that's creepy. And I know that's not exclusive to just him. It's very important to have self-awareness and self-reflection where you can separate yourself from a situation, take a step back, and see how things look. He needs to be able to have that ability. That's an ability he should be confident in, so he can recognize that the way he has conducted himself here is creepy. You are a creep in this exchange, and you need to grow from it to not be like this going forward. And he just keeps going. "I thought you'd appreciate my persistence. I thought wrong. You turned the app against me. I didn't get any engagement before that tweet. People really lined up to defend that dude. I didn't think he was that liked, to be honest with you." It has nothing to do with the individual in this case. It just all has to do with you being creepy and people wanting to let you know that what you're doing is not okay. He's just not able to grasp the situation. And I also don't know why he would think this persistence would be appreciated. Again, you don't even know her. And being extremely persistent and annoying about shit is something nobody likes. Not even in a romantic partner, but in general, even as a friend. If you're just gonna keep, like, poking and pestering and, like, constantly prodding, no one's going to like that. She then explains to him again how what he's done is something nobody will appreciate, and he just ignores it and says, "Nobody on this app understands what my point even was that I was trying to make." What point? You're not making a point. You just keep saying how much you like her and find her boyfriend to be dorky and unworthy of her. What point are you talking about? There's not some, like, deeper underlying message that you're trying to get across that we're all too stupid to see. You're just being a weirdo for everyone to see publicly and throw tomatoes at. This is the last DM here that was shared. He says, "I treat women with the utmost respect, actually." That's the impression I got as well. Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I got when reading this too. To which he responds, "You don't when you can't accept the word no and objective women. Your loss, I guess." That's just a classic sign-off from, like, every single one of these meltdowns and bad romantic exchanges. Somehow it always ends with the guy saying, "Your loss. I'm actually, like, the best dude ever. I'm, like, the chillest, nicest guy ever, and you just blew it with me, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. You'll be thinking about that every night trying to go to sleep. What a big loss for you." I don't know why that's so common amongst all of this, but it is very interesting to see it every single time. But anyway, I just wanted to share this because I've been so fucking deep into these, like, weirdo romantic exchanges and all of that. So I just got out of the shower, which is why my hair is so sodden and makes me look like the girl out of the Ring movies. But I needed to freshen up. I had to spruce myself up for this because today is a special occasion here. Many of you are aware, and some of you have probably even said a few prayers for my mental health, that I have been lost in the abyss of cringy, unhinged, weirdo text messages and bad dates that have been shared when it comes to romance. I have been glued to it. And today, we have a celebrity appearance here. Can we get a round of applause? Like, we made it. We went from just like a couple of really lunatic Redditors to an actual superstar celebrity making an appearance on this little segment here that I like to do. So anyway, let's get into it. So the superstar in question is the former Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker Ryan Shazier. This is a name many of you have probably heard of before because in 2017 his career was ended after a tackle went wrong that left him paralyzed. And over the years, since 2017, he has relearned to walk. It's actually an incredible story and an incredible recovery he's made. But unfortunately, he decided to cheat on his wife, allegedly. And his wife posts the screenshots yesterday from the alleged affair. I'm not going to show you every text message because a lot of them are just extremely boring and stiff. It's just the world's worst small talk. The things they say to each other is more robotic than like a throwaway conversation from side characters in Fallout 4. So I'm just going to show you the main ones that I want to focus on. So this is the first one from Michelle's Instagram. Now, it is worth mentioning this post is deleted. I imagine that is mainly due to it now being a legal matter would be my understanding. I would imagine Ryan's lawyers are on this now. But anyway, she says, a person that loves his family, this is what they do to their family, the wife, that has been there for him since day one. Infidelity at its finest. I can't sit here and keep hiding anymore. You can have it. I deserve better. This is Ryan. He's a liar and a cheater, and then we can turn our attention to the contents of the text messages. He was allegedly cheating on his wife with a woman named Marie, and this is the first one I believe she shared. So it begins, oh, okay, haha. Glad she's not tripping though. She seems really cool and fun, like I'd be friends with her lol, like look at you. And then it's a picture of Ryan and Marie. And then he just says, yeah, make that picture look good. I'm a little confused here because it sounds like Marie is aware of Ryan's wife and just doesn't care. And then Ryan then goes on to say in the following messages there, saying that she's super cool, referring to his wife again. That is a really odd conversation to be having with the person you're cheating on your wife with, and then talking about how you'd be friends with her probably. So, before getting into more of the text messages, I think it's important to mention that Ryan is claiming that him and his wife have been separated and that he just wants his privacy from all of these allegations. I guess it's hard to know for sure what the truth is here, but with the text messages and the post from his wife, it really seems like they're not on the same page when it comes to whatever their relationship currently is. It sounds like more of an affair as opposed to a we're separated, so this is totally okay kind of thing. But anyways, I'd like to move on and really give your eyeballs a treat here with what I believe to be the most baffling exchange in flirting history. So, Ryan says, I like a lot, and I believe he meant I like you a lot to Marie. She replies by saying, I like you a lot, lol. And then Ryan replies with 2 book recommendations, like it's some kind of summer reading assignment here. He links her to 2 books, like it's a Friday night book club. The first one being The Ultimate Guide to Anal Sex for Women, 2nd edition, and the other, Blow by Blow, a step-by-step guide on how to give blowjobs so explosive that he will be willing to do anything for you. I was giggling so hard. She's like, I like you a lot. And then Ryan says, hit the books. You've got some homework to do. And I've seen a lot of people mention that as well. Like his first response to I like you a lot is, well, it's time to get your mandatory assignments in here in order to take this to the next level. And I absolutely was giggling so hard reading the first book, The Ultimate Guide to Anal Sex, mainly because it's the 2nd edition. Like, what do you mean? What changed in anal over the course of these book publications' history? Like, surely the first edition is still applicable. An asshole still functions the same way. We haven't evolved that much over the years. But they came back for the second edition. Like, maybe analingus wasn't in there, like they weren't eating butt. And then the second edition, they have like a whole dedicated chapter to eating butt and then like debunking old scientific claims about, you know, how to properly clean out the colon before anal or something. I have no idea. But the fact that he recommended the second edition had me absolutely howling for a little minute. It reminded me of being back in college when they give you like this very specific textbook that you have to use for class. Like, no. You can't use Anatomy and Physiology 2 3rd edition. That is obsolete and outdated. You have to use Anatomy and Physiology 3.5, obviously. And then it's like an extra $200 for that .5 edition book. Like, that's what he did to her with that. We don't have like a follow-up on what she says after the book links were dropped, but I have to imagine she was fucking flabbergasted. I like you a lot. Bang. Here's how to be better with your mouth and your ass. Like, oh, like that seems insulting. It's like he's calling all that weak for her or something. Like it feels like he's taking a shot at her here. Like you're gonna have to upgrade. Start studying, please. This is ridiculous. I just couldn't believe that. I've never seen such an interesting maneuver here. What a crazy strategy from Ryan. But anyway, let's go back into some more texts. You know what I need. Shake my head. You didn't bring a coat. I'm glad you like. And oh, I did. Haha, it's on my lap. And then she sends a selfie. Shake my head, wear it. He's shaking his head a lot here. Like, I don't know why he's sounding so disappointed in her. I have a zip up on too, haha. Lol, you can't change the temp in your office. This is the worst flirting ever, I swear to God. What in the world? This is so bad. I tried, but it's not working, haha. I'm just all bundled up. I want you on top of me / next to me and my fireplace, lol. That would be nice. And then he replies to the I tried, but it's not working. He just says, that sucks. Oh, brother. ChatGPT spits out better flirting than this. Like, I could have a more erotic conversation with an AI model. Like, this is rough. I'll just show you one more of the text messages that were shared. So Marie sends him a mirror selfie. I believe she's wearing a bikini top, but the quality's kind of bad, so it could just be bare breasts, and I just can't see the nipple in there because the quality's so low. There's a lot of JPEG and pixelation on the re-uploads now, but I think she's wearing a bikini top, and then says, enjoy some random pics / vids from Mexico. He at one point said that he had bad memory, to which she replies, aw, baby, haha, it's okay. Memory is just what I'm good at. You're literally the strongest person I've ever met. He goes, I don't know about that. She says, that's what I think at least. Do you like the pics? And then he goes, goddamn, just seeing these. And she says, I'm glad you like. Her having to ask his opinion on the photos is brutal. If I sent a dick pic to someone and I'm met with crickets, silence, and then like the next text message they send is unrelated to that dick pic, I'm going and I'm crying in my bathtub. Like, I'm putting on, you know, Inya, and I'm in my feels. I sent you my cock, and you say nothing? What have I done wrong? It's wacky to me that he had to be asked about it in order to acknowledge the pictures and the videos she sent. But anyway, yeah, there still is, I guess, a little confusion around what the truth is here, if they really are, like, split up and they're not in a relationship anymore, and all of this happened after they split up. I guess we just don't know yet, but I do feel like his wife probably wouldn't call him a liar and a cheater if this didn't happen while they were still together. So, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how this continues to develop, but I just had to talk about these text messages because, goodness gracious, that's... Whoa there, partner. Hold your horses. I bet you thought I had finally kicked my addiction to reading uncomfortable, cringy, weird text messages from the dating world. Well, do I have news for you, pal? I've only just begun on my bender here. I can quit anytime I want, it's not that big of a deal. I don't need electroshock therapy or any kind of mumbo-jumbo psychiatry to break me out of this rabbit hole. I don't have a problem. The only problem I have is that there isn't more of these for me to read, damn it. So anyway, let's begin. This morning, I hopped on and read 2 different stories here from relationships that fell apart in the most tragic and confusing of ways. So let's just dive right in. So we're reading from the perspective of the girlfriend in this relationship, and she's communicating with her boyfriend. They were coming up on their 3-year anniversary, but after this exchange, it all went right down the shitter. So it begins. Well, we're fucked. Pork chops went bad. My mom was getting ready to fry them and there was mold. To which the boyfriend just hits her with an okay. So she apologizes saying, I'm sorry, she's just gonna send me to get chicken alone because I already made mac. She's referring to mac and cheese, for those of you that don't understand the nomenclature there. Now, I think it's very important, as we go through this first story, that you know the ages of those involved. It's 25 and 27. The reason why I think that's important is because as we go through this story, I imagine most of you will assume that these are children, like literally 13 and 14-year-olds. But that's just not the reality of it. This guy is about to throw away a 3-year relationship and have a biblical meltdown over not getting some fucking pork chops. He continues giving her the ice treatment here, so he just goes, okay, no good. Actually speaking like a Neanderthal. She says, the pork chops were bad, we didn't know, I'm sorry, I tried to make you food. He just once again says, okay. She says, sorry again, he just says, cool. So this guy, he's going catatonic right now. We're losing him. He's flatlining. He's starving to death because the pork chops went bad. What is he gonna eat now? He's only a fucking 20-something-year-old man. He can't fend for himself without these pork chops. He's gonna die. She continues by saying, I really tried. Once again, just hits her with that okay. This is actually just like out of One Punch Man, that famous panel where Boros is powering up and One Punch Man just goes, okay. That is his whole personality. So he just goes, okay. And he says, you left? Yeah, she sent me to get chicken. He says, okay again, to which she just says, well, okay. She continues to profusely apologize for this whole situation here as if she did something wrong, even though she didn't. The pork chops just went bad. I don't know what he expects from her, to like sorcery away all of the mold or whatever on them, or somehow conjure up brand new pork chops from her ass, which is something she also mentioned in the comments, like, I don't know what he wanted from me. Like, she even went to get other food that he could consume. Chicken, mac and cheese, there were other options besides the pork chops, but his mind is set on one thing. Pork chops. He only has room in his noodle for one thought, and right now that thought is pork chops. So now that he realizes he's not getting them, he's about to go berserk over this whole situation here. Cool, you got to eat. I didn't for waiting on you. Good night. Okay, good night. I love you too. No, bro. Good night. I could have ate, but I waited on you, of course. You could have just eaten regardless. So the poster here, she went into detail about all of the context around this. So apparently he had said he was going to go get food, and she mentioned that she was making pork chops with her mom later. So he said, oh, okay, well then I'll just eat the pork chops with you and your mom and I won't get food. To which she replied saying, no, you can still get food and you're also welcome to have these pork chops. But being the noble chivalrous man that he is, he put down the food that he was going to purchase and instead was going to eat these pork chops, which didn't end up happening. And when he didn't get served his pork chops on a golden platter, he just refused to eat, crossed his arms, kicking his legs in his high chair. Well, then I'm just going to starve. So even though she had other food he could eat, the chicken, the mac and cheese, he just didn't. And then also didn't feed himself at any point throughout the rest of the night, I guess because he was still so fuming with steam coming out of his ears. And also, according to her in the comments, the reason he didn't eat the chicken and mac and cheese is because he only likes his chicken prepared in the most simple way ever. So he didn't like the way the chicken was prepared, and he also doesn't like mac and cheese, which is already giving me red flags. I don't know anyone that doesn't like mac and cheese in some capacity. That's making him seem already off his gourd just from that simple fact alone. But yeah, he refuses to eat for the rest of the night, all because he couldn't have those pork chops. She says, I tried to cook, I didn't know they were bad, I couldn't have known until they defrosted. I don't care, bro, I shouldn't have waited. They made food, but I had to wait on you. Some bullshit. Good night. Oh my god, this insufferable, whiny asshole. Those pork chops must have been, like, heavenly, divine, like, to just give up food for the rest of the night and then ruin a 3-year relationship. Those pork chops gotta taste immaculate. Like, not only do they have to taste amazing, they have to come with legitimately life-changing benefits in order to have this kind of fucking tantrum over them. Like, taking a bite of those pork chops instantly chisels out your jawline a little bit further or something. I just don't know what kind of pork chops would be worth all of this anger. She apologizes again, saying, well, I'm sorry, good night, I love you too. Bro, stop telling me that. I am so tired of this guy saying bro to his girlfriend. He clearly has no respect for her whatsoever. He then throws a term out I've never seen before. He says UPMO. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that stands for, so I looked it up, and usually it's an abbreviation for Project Management Office. But that doesn't really fit in the context of this conversation. I imagine it has to be an insult. I don't think he just came out of nowhere saying, you Project Management Office. So it must stand for something else, but I still can't piece it together. Maybe you pussy monster outcast? I couldn't tell you. Never mind, now I can tell you. I just took an additional 10 minutes looking through Twitter to see anyone else who has ever used that abbreviation, and apparently it means you piss me off. Wow. Fucking oof, that is so cringe, Jesus Christ. But anyway, she says, I mean, I do, but okay, referring to loving him. And then he just says, I don't want to talk to you. And then she just says, okay, good night, I love you. He then comes back around, as all of these unhinged weirdos do, where they're like, don't talk to me, I don't want to talk to you, good night. And then he just keeps fucking going and going and going and spewing. So he comes back and says, at all. Not tomorrow either. I don't care. This is bullshit. Good night. You're fucking selfish. Fuck you for real. I really don't want to talk to you or see you. Honestly, I'll remember this. Good night. I mean, he's speaking like it's the Walking Dead Telltale game. Goofball will remember this. I mean, obviously he's going to remember this. You just had a fucking meltdown over pork chops. Everyone's going to remember this. So then she's confused, like, what did I do? You said you don't want to talk to me, so I'm leaving you alone. He then says, fuck you, please leave me alone. Get the fuck out. And then she just says, you're the one texting me just to say leave you alone. And then he again comes in, I don't want to talk or see you at all. And then she just, again, I didn't even respond to you. Okay, good night, I love you too. Just trying to get out of this conversation because he just keeps coming back to just say, leave me alone. Stop talking to me. Why aren't you talking to me? Hey, stop talking to me. I'm texting you one more time just to let you know. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. It's craziness. It's craziness. So this is the end of the text message screenshots, but the story continues. Right after this, the following morning, he continued this behavior, this attitude, and ended up dumping her because of this whole pork chop fiasco, which is a huge blessing in disguise for her, because this is not a good partner. This is a crazy person. To have this level of blow up over not getting pork chops, wow, that is some concerning delusion. So she does expand on it a little bit. He continued to insult her the following day before dumping her. So just a piece of shit all around. And I just had to talk about this one because I don't think I've ever seen a relationship, at least of this long, 3 years. They apparently were saving up for a house, end over something so trivial. I haven't seen a relationship crumble over something so meaningless like this. This is a wild case here. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this one a little bit. I know I said I was going to do 2, but I've kind of been yapping about this one for quite a while now, so maybe I'll just save the second one for tomorrow and I'll let it be like a little teaser. I think that's what I'll do. This will be your little appetizer for tomorrow's, where I cover the other really unbelievably awful relationship crumbling text messages. But anyway, I feel bad for the girl here, but I am happy to know that they're not together anymore. I think that's a very good thing for her going forward. I know it's going to be tough for a little while, but wishing her the best. And for the dude in the story here, wishing him nothing but really bad mac and cheese and no pork chops for the rest of his life. So yeah, that's... Have you ever really taken a step back and got deep in thought and realized just how incredible it is that we as humans are able to speak to each other, language, and how mind-blowing that concept is? Communication is a blessing. But today I almost feel like it's a curse. I just read legitimately the worst thing ever, and it makes me regret that our ancestors at one point when they were still cavemen started grunting at each other to communicate, and then it eventually led to this existing. Oh my god, I saw this today, and it made me ill. And I thought, if I had to bear this burden knowing that this exists, you're gonna have to share in the load with me, so let's go on a little adventure here. It's from Tinder. Let me introduce you to the boy wonder Chris here. So these two individuals matched, and Chris was making the first move here, shooting his shot. I better be your top priority, with a little winky face emoji. I don't know if that's the strongest opener. I haven't been on dating apps in many moons now, but that seems a bit weak, but hey, his heart's in the game. She responds to that in a pretty playful way, I think is what she was going for. So she says, let me know if you want to go out tomorrow so I can cancel my daughter's parent-teacher conference. To which our Casanova here says, such a good girl you are. I'm free tomorrow. It's already getting so yucky. Such a good girl you are. He's speaking to her like it's a dog or something, like he's about to offer her a treat. And then she says, I'm not, with a laughing crying emoji, to which he wants some clarity. You're not a good girl, or you're not free. And she clears up the confusion. She says, not free. I have to go to a parent-teacher conference. Already, this whole exchange is going cattywampus. The wheels are falling off pretty quickly. And somehow it just continues to go further downhill. A goddamn avalanche of cringe. So he goes, damn, I actually thought you'd be fucking bad AF and cancel. Ha ha. And she says, I'm alarmed that you would want to go out with someone who would do that. And he goes, ha ha. I mean, in the back of my head, I was hoping it was a joke, that you didn't actually have one. To which she says, unfortunately, I do. And then he goes, all good, you're doing well, giving me attention right now. And then she says, I can meet up for a drink if you want since you live close. I have my kids this week, but they're older, so it's not like I can't go out. I have them every other week. Where do you live? His response here is really confusing. What does that mean? All good, you're doing well, giving me attention right now. What's happening? Is she like scratching under his chin? Like, I don't get it. What is he referring to? They're just talking on Tinder, and why is she... So you're going to start to notice that as this exchange continues to unfold here, it feels as though they're having two different conversations. Like, it's super all over the place. Like, the dots don't connect at all. Like, they're in two different dialogue trees, and it's not matching up. Now, our boy Chris, the protagonist, is a lot of things, but a coward he is not. He tries to employ the most delusional strategy you could ever envision. This is not something you'd ever find in John Madden's playbook, I'll say it like that. So, after he asks which part of downtown she's in, she replies, not saying. He then tries to, like, assure her that he's not gonna, like, go out of his way to find her. He's not, like, a stalker. He's not weird or creepy. He says, I'm not gonna go find you, lol. And then he says, I just got done with the gym, now doing post-workout naked stretching. Chris, are you okay? Post-workout naked stretching. You're off your gourd. Brother, you lost your marbles. What is a post-workout naked stretch? Are you telling me this guy's at Planet Fitness right now in the locker room fucking goatseeing himself in order to get like reps in at the end? Like, that's how he cools down? What is a post-workout naked stretch? I've never heard of that before. This is him trying to be, like, hot about things, I think. Like, ooh, this is gonna get her wet. I was at the gym, pumping iron, praying at the Iron Temple, way min, babe. And then I finished. Biggest pump of my life. So obviously I took my pants off, put both legs over my head, and hung a 5-pound kettlebell from my erect wiener. Hold for 30 seconds for 3 sets. It's the only way to conclude a good workout. Like, what the fuck is even happening? I don't know why he thought this was a good idea. Like, unless he's like an OnlyFans creator or something, and this is just content that he films, like the, you know, naked yoga that you see on YouTube or something. It's just, it is a wild attempt here at, like, flirting or trying to be, like, sexy on Tinder or something. It is bold. It is brutally cringe. She then responds by saying, if you were driving by, you might peep in the window. Haha. Sounds uncomfortable. Referring to the stretching, I think. To which he just says, I mean, of course. Now here's where things get even more fucking confusing here. The conversation really does feel like some kind of malfunctioning questline in an MMO where, like, the dialogue is just incorrect. Like, the characters are glitching out. So he says, to the stretch, asking about, like, what sounds uncomfortable. And then she says, no, for work. My stylist feeds me champagne. I don't know, maybe I'm the problem. What is she talking about? Like, how does that fit into anything that's happened here with this absolute disaster that Chris is trying? I don't understand. Maybe she's just trying to change the subject. I'm really not sure. And then he goes, was a bartender, now I'm just a content creator and gonna start day trading. Oh, so you're a little horny. What is happening? So I think my initial theory might be the right one. He might be like an OnlyFans creator, so the naked stretching he puts on the premium subscription tiers or something. But those days are going to be short-lived because he's going right to day trading. He's going to the tippy top of the food chain. He's watched a few TikTok financial gurus and he's got it figured out now. I also don't know why he says, so you're a little horny? Like, where is he even finding that? There's no hint of horniness anywhere in here. And then she goes, oh God, what a nightmare you are. Got some crypto, do you? So the red flags are abundant here. She's starting to notice there's some holes in this ship, and it is sinking. This is fucking going disastrous, catastrophic. And he goes, ew, no, I'm not a corporate bro. I'm a film person. I mean, okay. To which she also just says, okay. And he goes, good girl. What in tarnation is happening? This is like when you used to try to talk to Cleverbot back in like 2010. It's nonsensical. Chris's mind is an enigma. It is a confusing, perplexing hellscape of ideas, and communication is not. It's frying my brain just trying to process it. His inability to communicate effectively is impressive. It's alarming. Next he says, I just want to get away from bartending before I hit someone, lol, to which he says, yeah, nobody wants to hit content creators and day traders, obviously making a joke about it. He then goes, nah, or tap. But at least I'm tall and handsome, one saving grace. So he's trying to hype himself up, give himself some gas here, which falls extremely flat. The tank is run empty. She just goes, if you say so. And then he tries to save it by saying, a focus group told me, wasn't my say. His attempt at being playful, like, oh, I would never say this about myself. It's what everybody else says. I'm tired of hearing it, actually, about how fucking tall and handsome I am. And then she says, I like short guys. He goes, how short? And she says 5'7" to 5'10". And this is where it got personal for me. A dagger to my heart. She likes short guys and then lists guys taller than me. So I am freakishly short in her eyes. That's fucked up. 5'6" is fine. 5'6" is a beautiful, perfect height. Damn it. His response to all this is another head scratcher. He goes, well, I'm too tall to ride you then, even though I prefer shorter women. She says, well, I'm sure I'm too non-gym oriented for you. He says, you look like a gym exercise, to be honest. But yeah, you look like a good barbell curl. You look like a lat pull-down machine, babe. Yeah, fuck yeah. Nailed that. A wonderful line from him, really. I walk my dog slowly around the block twice a day. He says, I'll be the dog. This guy is so horny. This guy is criminally horny. Like, his arousal should be studied because it is on a whole different level, a whole different dimension. Everything he is reading is making him hornier, and he's saying goofier and creepier things each and every time. She goes, no offense, but you might be the fuckboyest fuckboy I've ever talked to on Tinder. And he goes, damn, you must not get many guys on here then. You could get a million guys, and I still think this guy would be up there in like the top 0.001% of outrageously horny weirdos. This is impressive. She says he's her first match in a year and a half, and he says, because this is light news compared to the shit I've heard, talking about like war stories, about to have a PTSD episode about the shit he's read on here. And then he says, doesn't help, I'm naked with a hard-on. And then her response is, I don't feel like I'm being very flirtatious. And then he says, the stretching and stroking while talking to you helped. What is happening? Somebody save Chris from himself. What is going on? This could be its own fuel source. Like, his sexual arousal, his non-stop, never-ending horniness on a conversation that has gone nowhere, talked about nothing, and yet he is still beating his meat to it, choking the chicken to what? To what? Like, there's not even, like, an imagination you can make out of this conversation that would be even remotely associated with something sexual. And he just keeps going. He's talking about being naked with a heart-on. What happened to your naked stretches? What are your stretches? What are those naked post-workout stretches? Does he put a butt plug in and wiggle it around or something to stretch out his ass, and that's why he's so horny now? Is hitting his G-spot? Like, what is going on? All she says to that is, okay. And then he goes, do you mind? I'm doing it whether you mind or not. I don't really care, but do you mind? Is that cool with you, you think? And then she goes, mind what? Me stroking myself while we chat. Oh, it's so yucky. Oh, it's so foul. Not at all. Can I tell you a story about last night when I was alone in my bed? Sure. My cat jumped up next to me and started hacking, and then she threw up in my hair. So this is her attempt to try and gross him out to ruin his mood, but she doesn't realize the raid boss of cringe that she's up against. He even calls her bluff. He goes, "Not gonna get me soft." Literally wiggling his finger saying, "Nope, that's not gonna stop me. I'm squeezing my hog no matter what." I've had my cat vomit multiple times. I had to get up anyway because I perioded all over my sheets. And he goes, "Yum, nice try." And she goes, "Through the mattress cover." He goes, "Bleach helps." Were you naked? Oh my god, he's still in it. He's still in the zone. He's in the flow state. He's in the mainframe. And she goes, "I was wearing my hoodie footy pajamas that have toasters on them." To which he says, "With an ass flop." And he comes back to clarify that he meant flap, because ass flop makes no sense and wouldn't want to be rude. That'd be ridiculous. To which she also says, "No, that's ridiculous." And he goes, "Of course, I'm harder than ever now." She just sends an emoji. He goes, "Yep, I'll leave you alone unless I can show off." So he's finally saying, "All right, I'm out of here. I've had my fill. I've done what I needed to do. I'm good." And then she closes this all out by saying, "Why do you even need to get a woman on the other end of the conversation? Just put a wig on a stuffed giraffe and show her your stuff and talk about how hot you are." So this whole conversation is one for the books. This is something special. This is so fucking weird. On every possible level. A part of me thought that it was him just trying to be weird on purpose, just to like, I don't know, gross out a stranger on Tinder or something. But the more I read about it and read it itself, the sacred text here, the more I'm convinced that this guy is just an actual fucking freak. Like, just an actual lunatic. So yeah, I just had to share this. That's about it. Santa Claus came early with the cringe. His little helpers were cooking up something fierce, and, well, it got gifted under my tree a bit early today, and I wanted to share it with all of you. It's definitely different than the normal things we've been covering when it comes to this romantic rabbit hole of tragedy. The worst text messages, the worst flirting, the worst dates. This one is different from all the others I've covered, actually. So, cozy on up with your favorite Christmas sweater, get under the mistletoe, and get ready to kiss your sanity goodbye, because this one is a real head-scratcher. For the first time in this goofy little series history, we're getting the perspective of a man talking to a woman here. Usually it's the other way around, where a woman has a really creepy encounter with a man and things go cattywampus, shit pops off, tits up, it's all over the place, it's a catastrophe. This time, we're going Freaky Friday mode, we're switching bodies here, so we're on the perspective of a man who has just matched with a woman from Tinder. They've been talking for a little while and it leads to this. "I'm jealous, I want ribeye." I'm assuming they were talking about ribeye. I'm quite the detective, I know. I just have a hunch that that's what the conversation was about. She then continues, "Lol, I'm glad you liked that." To which he says, "I would happily cook for you. What's your favorite food?" "Oh, you will? I love baking, so maybe I'll bake you a cake or some bread, lol. I love steak, rare or medium rare." I love that idea. When can we make this happen? What a great start. I dare say these two are soulmates. This is wholesome, the exchange is going super well. Looks like they're about to set up a date to cook together or bake together. How could it possibly go awry? The good vibes continue. "I'm not sure. You haven't asked me on a proper date yet." To which he says, "What are you up to tomorrow evening?" This is already looking like something out of a Hallmark movie. This is super efficient, super, great all around. She says, "I'm pretty sure my family is stopping by because my sister's in town, but I'm not completely sure. What about you?" "I see. I've got nothing tomorrow evening. I'd like to schedule said date with you, but I also need to maneuver around holiday busyness. Do you have availability 12/26? And she says, "I'm off all next week. The 26th would be perfect," with 2 blushing, smiling emojis. And I'm just sitting here, smiling, blushing, reading this story. Got me cheesing, it's so happy and wholesome. I also find it cute that in order to schedule the date, he conducted it like it was some kind of business meeting, penciling her in and locking it down. And the whole thing is just adorable. So how could it possibly end up in the shitter? What went wrong? Well, let's take a peek. Beautiful. It's a date. "Would you be comfortable coming to my loft in blank and we can cook? I have a cat here too, she's lovely." To which she responds, "No, I'm sorry, I don't do apartment dates for first dates. That literally made me so disappointed that you said that as a suggestion. I'm going to cut this loose. I hope you have a good Christmas and good New Year. Wish you the best." To which he says, "All good." That's a totally understandable position from the woman here. Not going to a stranger's apartment for the first date is probably the safest decision you can make, so there's nothing wrong with setting a hard line in the sand like, hey, I don't really go to people's apartments for the first time meeting them. That kind of decision probably keeps you alive. You might end up at like a fucking serial killer's place. You know, you go over there for medium rare steak, and you end up the steak. Turns out your Tinder date is Armin Meaves or something from Cannibal Cafe. So there's nothing wrong with her not wanting to go there for the first date. But she immediately jumps to being like, all right, we're done here. I'm so disappointed you even suggested it. Even though they were talking about cooking and baking together. It's not like he just pulled this out of his ass like a nefarious plot where he was rubbing his hands together and came up with this scheme. They were talking about cooking and baking together. How are you supposed to do that together outside of a household or an apartment or something? There's really no way to do that, so it should be pretty obvious why he suggested it. And he wasn't pressuring her into it. He even said, if you're comfortable, here's an option I think would be fun, since we've been talking about cooking and baking. He wasn't like poking her or trying to bribe her into coming over there and set a trap or anything. He was just putting the offer out there. So I feel like a less aggressive response from her would have been something more along the lines of, hey, politely, I'd like to decline that. Don't feel comfortable going to your place for our first time meeting. And according to the comment section, he planned on offering an alternative because he understood why she wouldn't want to do that. But then things really start to pop off before he had the chance. So he says, I hope you have a great Christmas as well. To which she responds, Jdi du perdele zatratse. I'm 100% sure I butchered the pronunciation on that, but I popped it in a Google Translate here, and it translates to go to hell, get lost. And I decided to investigate further, damn near having to revive Babelfish to try and get like another translation, because that just sounded so incomprehensibly mean after all of this. But the other translation that I keep seeing for it is basically, fuck you. Which just doesn't make any sense to me, because the guy was just following the conversation they were having. They were both saying like, yeah, let's cook together. And then she even suggested baking, like, yeah, let's bake together. So he's like, all right, bet, let's do it. Let's cook and bake together. And then she just goes, fuck you, scumbag, get lost. So he tries to like explain himself. He goes, for the record, it just seemed like a logical next step in the conversation because we were talking about cooking together. Sorry to offend or disappoint you, ma'am. And she just goes, go fuck yourself, dude. This time, plain English. So that one I understood. And then he just says, very weird response in my opinion. And then she unleashes the demon here. She lets Hulkmania run wild. You know exactly why you fucking invited me to your loft. And it wasn't for cooking. Don't text me ever again, blocked. And then he just goes, we met on Tinder, remember? Wish you the best in getting a date. I'll be warning all 30,000 women in blank about you. Now you're blocked. And he's just like, well, actually, wiggling his finger, blank has a population of 6.47 million, about half of which would be women. Warning 30,000 people about anything is an extremely tall order. You don't even get 30,000 people that heed hurricane warnings in Florida. If she's somehow able to send up the bat signal here to warn all 30,000 women in that immediate area about this guy, hats off to her. That's an incredible achievement, and she should use that power for good instead of evil. This guy didn't do anything wrong. He's clearly starting to take the piss here a little bit and just play around with it with that population remark. But I almost don't blame him because this is such an unbelievably hostile response to something that wasn't ever really meant in a disrespectful way, at least not from what I can see. She just immediately jumped to the conclusion that this guy is only looking to have sex with her. He's not actually inviting her over to cook. He is inviting her over to his place just for some coitus. There would be no steak being prepared. The only thing being steamed in that apartment would be ham. Steamed ham. I'm referring to them fucking. Like, that's such a stupid way of saying it. Mashing pissers, whatever have you. So she just believed that this guy was some huge asshole and was only using cooking as some kind of Trojan horse to get her over, but his true intentions were for a little bedroom rodeo action and nothing more. When really, to me, it really seems like they were talking about cooking and baking together. They were both on the same page. So when the idea of a date came up, which she proposed, the logical conclusion you draw is, hey, we've been talking about cooking and baking together, let's do that for our date. Like, it doesn't really seem like there was any kind of malicious intent behind it, and he never really had a chance to offer an alternative because she immediately just shut the whole thing down, which she has every right to do. There's nothing wrong with that, but it does seem like he wasn't trying to just be some douchebag or whatever. Like, it seemed like he was just offering a date that they had been talking about as a mutual interest. I'm sure he probably would have offered an alternative since she wasn't comfortable coming over to his place. He continues to just get a little sarcastic about things. He goes, please warn them about how a guy from Tinder invited you over to cook the day after Christmas. To which she says, dude, I'm in multiple groups totaling over 500,000. With your face, LMAO, you won't be getting no play unless you pay. Good riddance, roach. Honestly starting to sound like the Navy SEALs copy pasta. I've got over 500 confirmed blocks, and I will have your face plastered in the papers for 500,000 people to see. I'm part of every goddamn Facebook group on the East Coast, and they'll all know your name, villain. He just says, lol, roach. She continues, and I will! 2 exclamation points. It's like she's giving like a big speech in front of an auditorium. I'll let them know you tried to fucking invite me to your pathetic ass apartment for an easy lay masquerade as a cooking date. Yeah, we aren't stupid. Even your fucking hairline ran from you. Now sit back and enjoy being alone. And he just goes, I hope you find peace and love. Yeah, I mean, what else can you do except pray for happiness for her? Like, this went south so quick out of nowhere, and I don't think it needed to. They could have just said, like, not comfortable, are you open to anything else? And if he tried to be pushy about it, like, no, you have to come to my apartment, then all of this is a totally reasonable thing to say. Like, no, you clearly just want to fuck, get out of here, get lost, scram, Buster, you know, hit the road, take a hike. But she didn't even get that far. She immediately just jumped to this assumption that this guy is a piece of shit and he needs to go to hell and get lost. And now apparently she's going around putting up wanted posters like it's One Piece with a 5 billion berry bounty on this guy's head, all because he had the gall to invite her over for a cooking date that both of them were discussing together. I just don't really know how she'd even frame this as a bad guy to her 500,000 person group that she's a part of. I don't even know what group that would be. That's like a wildly large group to be a part of, and I can't imagine she has like a power position there where she can put out an APB on this guy or something. But even still, I don't really know how you could even spin this guy as a horrible person. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to cover this one. This one's different from the norm that we usually go over here, so that's really about it. See ya.